4, 3, 2, 1. Hi, I'm John Miglosh for the WDMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. I got some good articles, but before I get on to that, I'm going to be up in Minneapolis on Thursday afternoon, and you can find out the details at WDMA.org, WDMA.org for Wisconsin DMA. And I'm getting some registrations. Register right away because the hotel wants to know how many people are coming. And so I just got a call on that. And I thought, you better get some people over there. So be sure to register because seating is limited. Okay, so let's go on. Want to support marketing growth? Encourage learning from mistakes. I thought this was a really good article. Really perceptive. Kyle Harper. I think part of the reason I'm in marketing is because my boss, Vic Hunter, encouraged us to make mistakes. Now, we didn't make mistakes. We weren't allowed to just make any old willy-nilly mistakes, but direct marketing is about making mistakes. There's almost always a winner and a loser. Sometimes not statistically different, but there's always a winner and loser. And we always set up to test something. That's what Vic said. Always test something. Okay? Now, that, I believe, is a lost art in marketing. So I'm encouraging the term mistake-driven marketing. Okay? Now, what Kyle says, and I think it's really, really smart, is that there's 3 types of mistakes. Intentional risk. Let's try something new. Now, I love the part about direct marketing where we can, A-B split, something really crazy. Most of the breakthrough stuff has been things that I was strenuously told not to do and got a 40% lift or something and changed a business. Okay? Another is optimistic confidence. I think this might do better. This is probably the sweet spot of marketing testing. And then there's avoidable errors. But even those, I was sitting at a Christmas party. We always used to mail right after Christmas. So we were on press, right before Christmas. And it's not the same being at someone else's Christmas party. So the and a lot of times we were kind of late to press because we were changing the spelling of the word gray from G-R-E-Y to G-R-A-Y and then back again or something like that. And I always wished we could take the old version, the original on-time version that had a lot of mistakes in it and send it out and see if it actually did any worse. I'm guessing it wouldn't. Anyway, too often we treat everything as an avoidable error. I love this picture, by the way. It's great. Psychological safety. He says that offices that encourage conversation and encourage taking risks have less turnover and people feel more rewarded. I thought that was an interesting idea. But the best part is that's how you get growth. I've always said you can't tweak to greatness. You can't tweak to growth. Best practices will not get you growth. Big ideas, new ideas, breakthroughs get you growth. So take your old way of doing stuff and do it, and then try something new. Great article, Kyle. I hope we can connect on LinkedIn or something. The next one, now, remember we were talking about avoiding making mistakes? Okay, so here's one that you want to be very cautious about. This article, not that we haven't tried this since the early 80s. We tried psychologically profiling our customers into quadrants, Jungian quaternions, and we tried split testing emotional content, and I'm all for emotional content. Fear is one of the best ones. You can't hardly beat fear. Buy now, limited time only. Okay, that's not what this guy's talking about. This guy's talking about. First of all, he says, that demographics idea, that's baloney. They came up with that 100 years ago. Yeah, it was a lot further than that. When L.L. Bean started in the 19th century, he rented a list of hunting and fishing licensees from the state of Maine and sent them a boot offer. And why? Because he felt like those people would need a good dry boot. Okay? That is geodemographic profiling. It's actually more like special interest profiling, but you get the idea. Now, okay, here we go. It's in every article. AI and machine learning are going to be able to deliver more. He says the trouble is we're using it to deliver more segmentation, and what we should really use the AI for is mood targeting. We should get the computer to tell us your mood. We could have a mood ring as part of your login. Put your hand on that little finger scanner, and it'll tell us whether you're in the mood to buy. I have my finger up here on the thing here. Am I in the mood to buy? Oh, Ouija board. Oh, God. Okay, now, when I ran across this article a couple of days ago, and I thought, there might be some merit to this. But first of all, if I get a flat tire, I need a tire. I'm probably in a bad mood, so maybe bad moods are good. And in fact, if I'm really satisfied and happy, probably not going to buy anything. I buy things to affirm my personhood. Anyway, okay. And then this guy comes along, Jay Akunzo. I don't know. Anyway, he says, you try to understand and predict tomorrow by pulling things you assume to be absolutes, all of which were learned yesterday. Jay, I hate to break this to you, but as a guy with a graduate degree in philosophy, everything you learned was yesterday. You didn't learn anything from tomorrow. Not yet. No. Oh my gosh. Now, and he says, okay, isolate a variable and test it specifically. That's in the past. And unless you can generalize it, and here's the part people lose even in direct marketing. Fred Heisel, bless his soul, said to me, here's 6 data cards, mail these and let me know how they did. I said, well, tell me about the lists. Tell me about what they're selling and what they're, don't worry about that stuff. Just mail it and I'll get you more like it. Well, get me more like it presumes that there were some common features that he knew that I didn't know. So I set off to think about that a little differently. Anyway, the point is that in the scientific method, you have your hypothesis, your observation hypothesis, field valid experimentation, and you get results. And then you try to generate an explanation. An explanation is a way to generalize the principle across time and space into the next time you do it. And if you don't generalize to explanation in theory and retest the explanation and create slightly different hypotheses, you don't have anything that you can extrapolate. So time is an essential element. Now, having said that, which I don't think most marketers understand at all. Yeah, here, mood is fleeting. Look for ways you can test, learn, and act in real time. Having said that, I was at a conference and Tim Foley, a defensive back for the legendary undefeated Miami Dolphin team, the only team to go all the way through the season and the Super Bowl undefeated. He was one of the speakers, and I was hanging out in the bar after his talk, watching the NCAA basketball tournament because Wisconsin was in the semifinals and lost. But anyway, so then I got less interested. And anyway, Tim and I got to spend about 45 minutes talking, just the two of us. It was really fun. And he told me about his first game at Notre Dame and how he was, as a freshman at Notre Dame, he was put up against an All-American receiver. And it turned out that he intercepted, I think, twice, and the guy had one reception. And so he really did a job on the guy as a freshman. And he's telling me all these stories. And he was telling me about Hall of Fame NFL quarterbacks and the tells, and how one would like buckle their strap, or the receivers. He told me about this Dallas Cowboys tight end guy, and he would always buckle his strap a certain way when he was going to catch the ball. Now, so as I was thinking about those things, and it was fantastic. I wish I would have recorded it because I just don't remember all the names and places and things. But as he was telling me these things, I started to realize that if you could get to there, if you could get enough information, and that you might be able to see repeatable patterns on your customers when they're going to get the ball. Do you think so? This is one of those cautiously optimistic marketing mistakes that you're allowed to make, but I don't buy it for a second. If you're going to get it to work, first of all, lay a solid foundation of those dusty old demographics. Because most of the time, it's way easier to rule people out who can't afford your product or have no interest in it than it is to figure out who's going to buy today. I'm John Miglosh. Like and